Live out on the balcony. Like Pepsi. The sky around is like lighting up with lightning, but there's no sound of no thunder or anything. Check this out. See it? I don't know if you could see that. Oh, got someone. I was saying the sky, there's like lightning going on. Wait for it. There, see that? But there's no sound. There's no rain and there's no like cracking or thunder. That's Naga World over there. See that? I'm on my balcony. Here to hang out or, answer your questions about teaching or finding a job or a teaching job. I don't know how to get other jobs. And this weekend coming up on Friday morning, I'm getting in an SUV with my band, and we're going down to the coast and then getting on a boat and going over to an island, and a resort has hired us to play. And this weekend is a holiday in Cambodia called Cham Ben. So it's going to be like totally packed, full resort. Like, it's really great fun. They pay for all the transportation to get there, and they give us a room and money and beers, and it's like a really good time. So we're counting down for that. It's like 3 more days till we leave for that, and then I'll be making videos for that too. I think what I might do on this trip is, oh, did you see that in the background? There was lightning. On this Korong trip, as I film, it might be like, well, and if you want to see this next part, you have to become a member and see, and then there'll be like a 10-minute period where that chunk, it will only be a separate video on the members page. Like maybe the boat ride or a tour of the room that we're in or something like that. But there'll still be lots of content on the free part too. Then we have a Halloween show, a different band I'm in. I have a Halloween show at Oscars. That's the place where I always have pictures from. And we decided we have to dress up like in the band, but we don't know what. I think it's not going to be connected. Like we're all going to just be something different, I think. And I'm looking into getting a Spider-Man, like fully Spider-Man costume. And then I'd probably just cut off the fingertips so I could still play bass. Or see if I can do it without doing that. But I just think that'd be crazy. You walk in and on the stage is full Spider-Man, like. And then once I have that costume, I can use it every Halloween or something funny or like. You never know when you can use a Spider-Man outfit. You guys have any questions? I put a link in the description too to the Tesla course that I went to. That's how I started my whole life over here. It's called AVSE. There's lots of info on the website. The link's in the description there. But it's basically a course that takes place in the country, and they do it in Phnom Penh, or they do it in Vietnam too. If you're interested in Vietnam, all this stuff I talk about, they also do it in Vietnam too, in Ho Chi Minh, and they're starting in Hanoi too. But in Vietnam, you need a degree. So that's why I don't have a degree. That's why I'm in Cambodia. Yeah, it takes place in the country. It lasts about 4 weeks, and you're with, what's great about that is you're coming here alone, right? But then when you come here and start that course right away, you have classmates that you become your friends, and then you're doing all your first experiences together, and then as those 4 weeks are over, you all start getting job interviews, and then you get it lined up with a job. And this program, that's one way, or they offer it online, like you can do the course online at home, and that's a little bit cheaper because it doesn't have to include accommodation and all the stuff like that. So if you'd rather do it on your own time at home, you could still check out the link, because you can do an online version at home. And if you're out there too, last thing I'll say is, so you can do it in class, online. Last thing, if you're already a teacher and you're like, yeah, I did my TEFL already, I took a course in my own country, or I've already taught in this other place, I'm thinking about coming to Cambodia, and how am I going to get a job? Well, that TESOL school, AVSC, they have a separate program that's just only it's called Teaching Jobs Abroad program, and it's for people that already are certified, and it's just to help you get a job. So if you just need help being lined up with job interviews and job placements, you can check out that link, see what it's about. You can also reach out to me personally, like on Instagram, there's a Tom Trips Out, or Facebook, and you can send me a message, and then I could give you links so you could read more about it, or maybe answer a couple of questions, or you can reach out to me. So Daniel Baker is saying, what salaries like for non-degree holders in Cambodia? Well, it can depend on a few different things, like what type of school you're applying at. If it's a really local, like if it's an international school, like I worked at an international school, it's a little bit more money. They're kind of like middle class. I would say you should expect like $1,200 to start, $1,200 a month. But I've heard, like I had a friend who had a job opportunity that was only $1,000 a month, but it's because the teaching hours were much less. So instead of teaching like 4 or 5 classes a day, he would teach like only 2 or 3 classes a day. And all the rest of those time that you're there is like your free time to make lesson plans and all that stuff. And usually as a teacher, you get a few of those free periods, but he would have like pretty much half his days free every day, and that's why that offer was only $1,000, because you're not teaching as much. So it can vary, like depending what type of school it is, and then also how many teaching hours they're trying to ask of you. But a normal full-time regular thing, and you come from a native English-speaking country, I'd say you shouldn't take less than $1,200. It could be more too. And you gotta think about what grade are you like I taught grade 8, and I was rated at about that price range. Actually, I don't work at that school anymore. I can talk about it now. I was making $1,250. They give me $1,250 a month. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was teaching grade 8, so it's a little more involved. Like you're teaching like real grammar, and it's hard sometimes. We're lesson planning about a week or 2 weeks ahead of time, and I would have to go learn the grammar myself. Like we all know how to speak English, but I would have to learn the proper rules in a way that I can explain it to someone else, kind of thing. And then, and I'd be like learning it first, than that. But you could imagine if you were doing grade 1 or kindergarten, you'd be like, okay guys, like an adjective is a describing word, or this is a ball, or like like it would be, or spelling and stuff like that. And so my point is, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but if you're teaching a much easier grade level, then there's a chance maybe you can't demand such a high salary. Like you're going in and handing them a coloring book and then showing them a video, and then they do a dance, and then it's lunchtime. Like, then you can't really expect a ton of money. But I knew a guy that got hired for kindergarten that was making the same. We got hired at the same time. He was in my AVSE class, and we got applied for jobs, and he works at a different school. But I got grade 8, $12.50, and then he was kindergarten or grade 1, and he also was $12.50. So, but the subject matter is easier, but they have their own difficulties. You got a million little kids running around screaming. They could cry. They could like pee their pants or something. Like, it's like things you don't want to deal with. Tara, hey Tom, I have a couple friends moving to your city for teaching. I told them to check out one of your band shows. Nice. Yeah, October 28th, we're playing at Oscars for like a Halloween. And I'm planning to be Spider-Man. I just mentioned it earlier in the video. There's a Halloween store here too. I've been trying to look up and see if I could find. They don't put their prices, and you can't, like, their response, and they even write it on their thing, is you have to come down to the store. They're like, we don't have anyone monitoring the Facebook to answer you, so you have to just come down. But they take screenshots of little pictures of what they have, and they're very small, and you have to zoom in and like look. And I saw Spider-Man, but there's no prices. And I don't want to pay more than $100, and even that's too much. Like, so I don't know what they cost here in Cambodia. And then I also saw, like, scrolling through all their pictures of what they have at the Halloween store, they had also like very just cheap plastic mask with like a little elastic that goes around the back, and they had a Spider-Man one. So I guess in the worst case, I could like wear red clothes and then buy that. It would be like and maybe look punk rock a little more, and then be like a punk rock with a Spider-Man mask or something. I don't know. And a backwards hat or something. I'm going to try to be some version of Spider-Man. Yeah, that's one thing I always forget to mention when I talk about the help that AVSE can do for teaching jobs and teaching. I keep talking about it and as if it's only in Phnom Penh. They also do all this exact same stuff in Ho Chi Minh. It's actually where their main headquarters is, and they're going to be doing Hanoi too. And in Vietnam, teachers can make more money, but you need a degree to get the proper work permit and everything. So that's why I can't go teach there. But if you have a degree, you could do this program, and you could even do the program in Phnom Penh, and then right as you graduate, then take a bus or a plane and work in. So it doesn't matter which country you take the course in. You can do the course in Vietnam and then work in Cambodia and work anywhere in the world. And so you can do the course in either place and work in either place, but you need a degree if you're going to do Vietnam. Cav, Tom, how are you, bro? Glad to see another live. Good timing. Yeah, I'm out on the balcony. The sky is like lighting up. I'll show you. I don't know if it'll do it. Lightning just, see that? Boom. But there's no rain and there's no sound at all. No crackling. See that? So maybe there's a huge storm coming, I don't know. There's no rain, there's no wind, no thunder, no crackling. World Zoom. Do you need a TEFL if you have a bachelor and a master's? Yeah, you do. I'm pretty sure. Well, if you could convince a school to hire you, you could prove me wrong. But I mean, in general, yes, because they teach you need that certification. It teaches you specific things. It's not about how smart you are, or it's not about like, you don't need those qualifications you said you have. Those are irrelevant to being a teacher. So like, that doesn't help you. That doesn't matter that it's like really great that you accomplished that, and it's almost like you're overqualified. So that doesn't have an effect on because you have a bachelor and a master's doesn't mean you know how to teach or make a lesson plan, right? So you don't know how the teaching culture with this type with Cambodian children is like, or things like that. But I'm sure you're way more academically inclined than most teachers. Once you come here and get a job, you'll notice, like, especially in Cambodia, a lot of us have chosen this country because we don't have a degree, and it's one of the only countries that will hire a teacher without a degree. I'd say at my school it was about half and half, like half like some of the teachers did have degrees, and they're working in Cambodia anyways. But I mean, but it's easy. You can get a TESOL in like a few weeks. Like, Castaway, the thunder. You think it's alien? It could be. Well, it's like lightning flashes. Do you want to see it again? I don't know if it's too boring to just show a black sky, but you see that? I've been out here for like 20 minutes. I don't know how long it's been going, but whoa. Couple good ones there. That's the street down below. Yeah, the spaceship's firing off over there. That's Naga World right there. These lights behind me. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's like a giant casino, hotel. There's like a luxury restaurant in there, and flashing lights, and we got a lot of people. I should have went somewhere cooler. We're just chilling on the balcony. Look at how much space I have. That's a video that's coming soon, actually. I'm going to do I realized the other day I'm trying to think of video ideas, and I never did an apartment tour. Like, I've moved into this is an apartment I've had maybe for 2 months now, or 3 months now. And I never did an official apartment tour because I was leaving for a month to go to Canada, and it's kind of a dumb reason, but I've heard it would be stupid to like film exactly where I live and then declare to the world, by the way, I'm leaving for 3 weeks, like, and then someone's going to come and break in and stuff. So I didn't want to like detail exactly my living space and then leave. But now I'm back, so I can I think still I won't film like the exact entrance where you walk in or whatever, but from the ground, like, so you won't know exactly what building, but I'm sure you can figure it out. If you put all the videos together, you could probably get close and walk around and recognize it. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna maybe if I can get my act together. My problem is my place is like messy, so I can't just be like, oh, I'll film that tomorrow. I gotta like spend a day cleaning the apartment first, or like an hour or two, and then I can do a apartment tour. I only paid $250 for this apartment. Look at this balcony, including Wi-Fi. Give you a quick look here. And it's like a long hallway here. Sorry, it's dark. And then like a giant kitchen. I have laundry hanging there. Fridge. They gave me a table there. Big bedroom. There's 2 bathrooms too. I got 2 bathrooms. Look at the lightning. I know I moved kind of fast through there, but I didn't want to. It's too messy. It's not gross messy though. It's just like things are just not in their place. It's just kind of untidy. It's not like dirty. Okay. Daniel, how does cost of living in Phnom Penh compare to a place like Bangkok? Well, I've never lived in Bangkok, but I think it would be similar. And I think maybe food could be cheaper in Bangkok and better. Like, or it would be the same price but much better. Like Thailand has much better food. I hate to say it. I love I love Cambodia so much, but you have to search a little harder to find like a $1. You can in Phnom Penh you can find like a $1.25 meal or like $1, but you have to look a little harder. You can't just go anywhere. And I feel like in Bangkok you could way more easily like just walk down any street and the first person you come up to the food would be that cheap, and then they make it in front of you and it would be really good. But I haven't been to Bangkok. I've been to Phuket, which is a little more touristy. But you know, main thing, like it's just as cheap as Southeast Asia. Like it's apartments and all that would be around the same, I think. This place is huge though. The one bad thing is it's stairs though. So I'm on the third floor and I gotta go up a lot of stairs. See that lightning over there? Oscars on the riverfront is nice. Yeah, that's different from, I was just mentioning a place called Oscars. The one I'm talking about is with a C, and it's called Oscars on the Corner, and it's like behind the night market, like a live music bar. I think what you're talking about is like a nice, right on Riverside, there's a nice place called Oscars but there's a K in the OSK. And they've got some tables outside, and I think I've never bought anything there, but it looks like the prices would be a little higher, like $3 for a coffee or something, or it looks like a cafe restaurant. If I remember right. I haven't been there, but I know I've walked by it a bunch of times, lots of times. Ed Travels. What do you like most about living in Cambodia? I don't know, I just love it. I just visited Canada a few months ago during like August, and when I came back, I was already kind of excited to come back, but I walked out of the airport, it was like, so overjoyed. I was like overjoyed. Like yeah, everywhere I looked was like, yes, I'm back, yes. Like, I just really, really love it here. And I guess one thing that I really love is like the cost of living and how everything's low stress, because like in Canada, even if you're having a good day, it's like there's still every step you make, and you can't even take my parents are in suburbia, and I would take the transit into Toronto, and just to get myself to Toronto could be like $15, and like here I'll spend just $10 or less in a whole day of doing whatever I do, including breakfast, lunch, dinner, a couple tuk-tuks, coffee. Everything is within $10. And in Canada, it's like you just wanted to like get somewhere, and that's $15. Like right away, you can't even. And so even if you're having a nice sunny day and it's your day off, you're always getting like stepped on with how you can't afford anything, and that's just a dark way to live. And that's just not, you're just free, and it's all good, and there's room to breathe, like, and it's a good vibe here. Like everyone's really friendly and wants to have a good time. Just trying to read, a bunch of people wrote things. Hang on a sec here. Castaway. The gangs look like regular school kids on their motorbikes. Yeah. They're serious though. Tim, Bangkok is very good for food. So much choice. and so they compete a little on the price. Yeah, see, I think I was kind of right with what I was saying. No one can like raise their price too high, because then there's so much competition that then no one would buy from them. So they all are fighting to get the business. So the prices are low, but they're all really good food, like really good food. World Zoom. Can Filipinos teach in Cambodia? I think like anybody, I think definitely you can, but you would command a way less lower salary. Like most the jobs, they want a native English speaker. In my experience, just from what I've seen, and I've not seen like that much, it's just in this one school I worked at and from talking to people and stuff, but where there'd be like a place that would hire Filipino women a lot is like a preschool or like nursery. I think they call that level of teaching, like, if you're going backwards, like grade 1, then backwards, kindergarten, maybe like preschool. And then before that, even younger, is called nursery, and it's like they're almost a baby. And I've walked through there one time, and in one school, and the employees in there, or the teacher, like it was a bunch of women, and they looked like they could have been possibly Filipino women. It's hard for me to answer that. I don't really know. But I think you're more likely, when you're from a non-native English-speaking place, you'd probably be, less likely to get a job teaching heavy grammar and all that stuff, because you don't even come from a country that speaks English. They'd probably rather hire you as like a teacher assistant or a nursery, where you're kind of, I don't know what they might do, like change diapers and you just play simple games with them and stuff like that. So you might not be doing anything language heavy if you're Filipino. That's what I would guess. Okay, next. Hold on. They do nice steaks there. Okay, Ed. I've lived in Siem Reap for 5 years and I love Cambodia. Yeah, it's great. Cav. I've worked with Filipinos in PP, yes. So there you go. Cav's here and he's worked with some, so Filipinos can, but the pay is lower, he says. That's what I said too. What's the wage like for teaching? If you come from a native English-speaking country, I'd say you can start at like $1,200 a month, $1,250 for like a normal full-time teaching hours. I was telling a story about a friend of mine got offered just $1,000 a month, but it was because it was like way less teaching hours, maybe 1/3 less teaching hours. So like, instead of teaching 4 or 5 classes in a day, you teach like 3 classes every day, and you never have a day more than that. Like, so it's like having a half day every day. But a normal full-time, I would say $1,200 a month is what. If you got offered less than that, I'd say you should negotiate back and say, give me at least $1,200. Fuzzy Rogers. Super important question. Tom, did you get a visa on arrival when you flew back to Cambodia? I was refused a boarding pass at whatever airport by Delta Airlines 4 days ago. What? I didn't, because when you get a job here, then you get an extension on your visa to a working, you can change it into a working visa. And they call it getting an extension. And there's many different types. So if it's because you've got a job, then you choose the working extension. And that gives you a year, and it's multiple entry. So what that means is, because I had that, when I'm in the airport, I just walk through, here you go. Like I have a year visa that I can come in and out as much as I want. So I never had to experience dealing with that. But I thought you could, as far as I understood, you should be. So what, they refused you because you didn't have a visa? That doesn't make sense. They have, because they do visa on arrival. Or maybe, did you have no return flight? They don't like if you're gonna, because you don't have a long-term visa yet. So technically, when you're on the plane going there, you can't behave like you're going to stay there, because you don't have the paperwork to stay there yet. So you need to sort of make them think you're going to be also coming back home again, or somewhere else, onward travel or coming back home. Because it might look at you like, oh, so he's just gonna show up and get a visa on arrival and then just fade into obscurity. Like you can't, they don't. Maybe that might be why they should have explained to you why. Maybe. Whoa, hold on, I'm scrolling to see everyone's writing stuff here. Okay. Cav says 800 for a teaching salary. That's low. My first job, I got $12.50 to start, and then it went up to $13.10 after like 6 months. They gave me a raise. Do you see any people fighting like in Thailand? No, like in Thailand, I know what you mean. It's like kickboxing and Muay Thai or whatever. Here, I've seen they do like regular boxing, like just I don't know what else to call it, like normal boxing. And I actually had a friend in one of my bands. He actually moved. Now he moved to Vietnam, so he left our band. And his name was also Tom. And he was doing boxing, and he's from the UK. And it's Cambodian people, it's like anybody, and it was like in a professional thing. And then he made it through all levels, up and up and up, to when it was like the final championship, and it was at like a real stadium, and you could buy tickets to see it and everything, because he made it all the way to the end. And then he won the whole thing. But he's not even that huge of a guy, so it must have been for his weight division, he won that. Like, hold on. Oh, Cav's saying, yeah, it would be 800 for like a non-native English speaker, or like, like for example, Filipinos. Yeah, and Cav started at 1,200 and now he's almost at 2K. So you've gotten raises pretty quickly, yeah. Or I guess you probably switched jobs maybe and leveled up. Tim, that's okay considering the low cost of living. Yeah. Like I'd say you could get by with 800 a month. Like if you lived here and you were trying to, you're still eating out, you're still a little here and there, and you're buying things you kind of like, but you're being smart and all that, and you don't go crazy, and your rent for your apartment's like less than 300, you could get by with 800 a month. But a good rule of thumb you should say is like 1,000 a month, because if you want to take a little trip to Camp Pot, or you're out with your friends and get some more beer, or like you want to not limit yourself, then you might need like 1,000. But I'm not a heavy drinker really, and I do now. We have so many gigs with the bands, and when you have a gig, we drink for free. So I just end up being those are the times where I drink because that's free. But yeah, the cost of living is so low that like even if you were only making 1,000 a month, you could scrape by. Making 800 a month would be tough. Or you'd have to have a roommate or something. If you were a couple and you were both making 800 and you lived in the same apartment, then you'd be great then. Blah, blah, blah. Stephen O'Connor says, I'm currently working with Filipino teachers. They tend to teach lower level English, as in grades 3 to 6, but they can teach any subject if they have prior experience, math, biology, science. Yeah. It's sort of like what I was guessing. Fuzzy correct. I had a one-way ticket and no e-visa. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. Who is a member? Do you notice they have a fancy, if you see in the chat there, they've got a fancy cool icon beside their name? That's a badge you get only if you're a member of the Tom Trips Out Army, where I'm going to I have exclusive videos. So there's one there about Happy Pizza, where they put like cannabis on pizzas here. You can go to restaurants and buy it, and I did a whole video about that. And I did another video on in bars, they'll fill up a balloon with laughing gas, like nitrous, and they sell it to people, and you stand around in the bar, and I made a whole video about that too, but it's only for the members section. And this weekend I'm going to Korong Island with my band. And along the way, I'll be making videos. And then when something really cool is about to happen, I'll say, oh, you got to be a member if you want to see this next part. And there'll be like, a half an hour chunk of time missing from the video because you have to be a member to see that section. So go check it out. What some people do too, if you don't want to continually pay every month, they just sign up, watch the videos that are there, and then they unsign up. So it's like paying just $3. It's like $3 or something. You can see what I have so far and then unsubscribe from that. Anyway, that's why they have a fancy badge beside their name, because that's what you get. That's part of what you get too. You get priority replies, you get a little badge, you get stickers. I make posts just for you. So they're saying it's because in America, a lot of time they don't believe on arrival visas. Fuzzy says, I'm retiring to see him read. TT. Titty Tala. Most Africans are sent back from the airport. That's too bad. Yeah, and I've heard stories like teachers I worked with from South Africa, they would go in with all the documentation from my school where they work at, and they hand it all in, and the person's like, no. And they just give them another tourist one. And like, it took this one girl by like her 4th try, she got it on like the 4th try. Castaway. You ever feel sad and lonely like in movie Castaway? No, I really like being alone, actually. Steve O'Connor. There's Khmer kickboxing every Saturday, Sunday at a stadium sponsored by a local TV station. It's in Phnom Penh, and it's about 10,000 real entry. 10,000 real is like $250, so it's not bad. Pierce, what's up? So Pierce is in the chat. He's saying, what's up? He's someone from Toronto, Canada, who's watching my videos, and he ended up coming and taking the TEFL course. And Pierce, you've graduated, right? Do you have a teaching job, or what happened with you? Are you still in the course? Let's hear your success story. Then everyone can see that I'm not talking shit. Or Joe, I have a master's in IT. Can I teach unique English or IT class? Yeah, I don't know, like the sky's the limit. You could teach anything. Like I came here and in the summer I started teaching a ukulele class, like out of nowhere. I just suggested it and then they went for it. Like, so you can make your own destiny, but you sound qualified to do so, in my opinion. You have a master's in IT, so if I was looking for someone to teach IT, I would hire you for sure. Joe, see you in Phnom Penh on November 19th. Nice. Dude, that's only like a month away. Or, yeah, a month and a week. Like 5 weeks away. TT Tala. Yeah, bro, with all the documentation. Pierce says, yeah, he got a job. There you go. Another AVSC graduate. Set up with a life and a job, no problem. Cav, they have ICT classes in universities and some schools. Pierce, done with the course, got a job at a school, $13.12 salary with no previous experience or degree. Wow, that's really good. So he's making $13.12. I got hired at $12.50, and then after about 6 months, it just was my timing. They were renewing everybody's contract and giving a little tiny raise, and I moved up to about that much, $13.10 or $13.12. So I had to work 6 months for like $60 less than that. So you're doing well, Pierce. And that should go up like every year when they, by a little bit at least. So look at that. So he's making $13.12, and if you're like smart with your money, you start, maybe the first couple months you're here, you don't do as well, but you start to figure out the way you get your cheap this and your cheap that, like, and then you get by with 800. If he's making $13.12, so you could save 500, or let's say you save 500, but then let's say, Tom, you're not taking into consideration going out enough, so let's take another 100 away. So then you're able to save 400 then, like. Or let's say you even party even harder, so you only save 300 a month. That's still nice. If you're saving 300 US a month and you can do whatever you want all the time. Like, you never have to worry like, shit, hope I can still have money for food by the end of the month and stuff like that. They really appreciate the degree here, Cav says. Yeah, it's not like required, but they like it. They like you more if you have it. Pierce, not totally loving my school though. It's kind of a grind. Oh, are you at ELT by chance? That's sometimes what happens. You get a really attractive salary like that, and then they overload you with, what's your teaching hours per week? Pierce, oh, I probably won't get to your answer for a while. What's your teaching hours per week? If your teaching hours per week are more than 25, then that's a lot. Kev, blah, blah, blah. So Pierce says he's doing 2 grade 1 and 2 classes, but wanted older classes, so they're switching me next week. But how many teaching hours? No, like Joe's asking, can I be overqualified? They'll still want you and hire you, obviously, but there's a ceiling, there's a cap on what they can afford. So you can't just, it's not like the amount that they can pay you as a salary can just keep going up and up. Every time you have one more degree and one more accreditation, then that means they'll pay me another $1,000, but that's not true. Like they can't, you'd end up getting paid the same as someone without those masters and without those things, because that's what they pay teachers. So you'd have to be paid as a teacher. You wouldn't be paid as like a IT mastermind, and possibly, or you'd only make like 200 or 300 a month more than the next guy or something. Because it's just because you are qualified to earn like triple doesn't mean that they're gonna cough up that money. That's what I mean. So this industry won't pay you that much what you're qualified to make. Like, you saw thunder behind me. It's getting closer. Joe says, I'm finishing an online PhD here. Again, I'm not that sure. I'm only answering you out of my own mind. It's not like I'm the end all be all for qualifications for masters and all that stuff. Like I'm not sure about that. I'm more experienced with people that they don't even have any degree, and you get a TESOL and you come here. Hold on, I'm scrolling. I'm way behind on your messages here. I'm gonna skip some that aren't that when you're just talking to each other here. But Joe's asking 1,500 max. I knew a guy that I worked with, and he switched schools to like a really fancy school. They're called ACE. Those letters, like ACE, ACE, and you have to have a degree to work there. And I think they hired him starting at 2,200. But it's not. But it's like that's the only school. So I would maybe look up that school and apply there. ACE, those letters. And the way you apply is on their website. You apply, and there's you fill out this whole application, and you have to attach your accreditations and send it all in, and then they'll have an interview. Scrolling. Pierce says, Zongying. Oh, I've heard of that place. Yeah. I'm working 7:30 to 5, teaching most of that time. Yeah, don't you have a schedule? On your teaching schedule, it should say how many teaching hours a week. Yeah, I've heard Cav saying they pay with rice. It's owned by Chinese people, that Zongying school. And when COVID hit, this is before I was in the country, but I heard stories of this. They were irresponsible with their money, and they had no money at all, and they were starting to pay their teachers with bags of rice instead of money. I actually went for an interview there trying to get a better salary than where I was working. And in the interview, they asked how much do I want to make, and I said $14.50, and he laughed. And in my head, I felt like, what an asshole. Like it's okay to think that, but like to like laugh out loud in my face. Like, yeah, online can pay more. Yeah, Stephen O'Connor's just saying the story I said. Wasn't that the school that stopped paying during COVID and gave 50 kilos of rice? Yeah, like everyone heard of it. Scrolling. Even paid in. Oh, Pierce is like, well, I've been getting real money so far. My internet's stalling out. Oh, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know. I tried to close. I had some pop-ups. I closed them. If you want to support the channel too, you can. It's possible to send super thanks and donations and things in this chat. And every little bit helps. And I've been using it. It finally. I can only like take the money once it reaches $100 in a month. So sometimes in a month it climbs up to like $40 or something, and so I have to wait like 3 months, and then finally I can take it. And what I did is I just put it back into, you can like put the money back into YouTube and it'll help promote your videos more. So it's like any donations will just help my channel grow more, because I'm gonna put it back into the videos. Pierce says he might apply to other schools to reduce teaching hours. You can ask AVSE to help too. They do lifetime teaching assistance. Cav says, okay, bro, gonna get ready to sleep. Good seeing you. Yeah, he's saying, look forward to the next videos. Yeah, this Friday I'm going out to the island, so there'll be lots of cool. If you follow me on Instagram too, you'll see way more up to date. Like, you don't have to wait for me to get home from the trip and edit and post it on Instagram stories. I'm like putting it as it's happening, so you'll see shit in real time as I take my adventure to the island and we go set up at a resort on a beach on a Cambodian island. Steven says, some schools like ICS start at 1,600, 24 contact hours, but not much holiday time. That's really good salary. I would love that. I was doing 24 hours, so that's more than I was making. I was getting 1,300. I'm trying to move physically near Royal Phnom Penh University. I think I know where that is. That's fine, isn't that? That's basically in the center of town. Should be lots of options around there. That's what I think. I can imagine looking out the window in the tuk-tuk and seeing, like, driving by that. It's a nice area. I think so. Joe's asking, is that the nicest college around? I think so. Mrs. Some schools in Phnom Penh pay $2,000 to $5,000 a month with flights and housing benefits. I've lived here for 2 years and I've never heard of that, but like never about the flights and housing. That's only China. China does that. Korea does that. Yeah, I'm not denying it's true. I've just honestly never heard of that. That's great if that's amazing. Hook us up. Yeah. I mean, I've heard of that totally, but I've never heard of it for Cambodia. That's kind of thing. Like in Korea, they'll pay for your flight. Your apartment will be totally paid for, and the salary is like what she was saying, like way more. But you need a degree for these programs. China does it too. And then Cambodia, I've never heard that, like paying for your flight too, and no way. Well, it's hot all the time. Castaway is saying, is October a hot month? It's part of the year here is rain season, and it's pretty much, I'll probably, someone's going to correct me, but it's somewhere around like May till November, let's say. Like end of April till end of October is pretty much is when it's rain season. So what that means is it's like hot and normal every day, and then every day at some point for about 2 hours it's going to rain so hard for like 2 hours, and then it stops every day. And so right now, and so then at the end of October it starts to turn into like hot season. November, December is like the best tourist season. Everyone comes in November and December. So basically you're asking, is October hot? We're like almost at the very end of rain season. It's like today it didn't rain. Just the closest thing was the lightning I was showing you before. The silent, eerie lightning. So it's like a first sign that we're getting out of rain season. Today it didn't even rain at all. Oh, Steven's saying if you have a master's in education, you can command more money at certain international schools. Joe, it's 90 Fahrenheit in PP right now. Yeah, I don't know Fahrenheit, but it's, it's usually like, well, it's nighttime now, so I bet you it's like 30, 29 or 30. But during the day, it goes to like 37, and then plus humidity, so it'll be like 41 or 42 with humidity included. Pierce, do you work at an international school? Yeah, it was Western International. But then starting this school year, I stopped working there. I'm taking a break from teaching to focus on YouTube and bands for a while. But I'll teach again, I think. Unless if all of a sudden my YouTube starts getting amazing traffic, then I can change my trajectory or whatever. But because when I need to renew my visa eventually, I'm gonna have to have some kind of job. So I'm gonna probably like 3 or 4 months before I need to renew my visa, I'll go get a teaching job again, and then. But right now I'm not teaching. Joe, is there Halloween and Christmas there? Yes. Halloween is more here than Christmas is, but Christmas is here too. Like things get decorated, and you'll see like Santa things, or they put Christmas lights on the palm trees. They don't celebrate, like they're Buddhist here, right? So they don't really celebrate it the same, but it's like just from movies and TV, they see that stuff, and then it's more like the decorations they get into. It's not really the story of Jesus that they get into. It's like a snowman decoration and stuff like that. But Halloween they do get into. Like the bars will have Halloween parties, and a lot of the bars and a lot of the ones you'll end up going to that are cool and fun for us are ones expats go to, and they'll be like owned by UK people or like this or that. So then they are celebrating like holidays from the UK or like or in Halloween. So like even you can go places for Thanksgiving here. Like bars will have a dinner. You pay $10 and you get this big dinner or whatever. Same with Christmas dinners and New Year's Eve dinners. Bars will do that. Like they'll have a package where you pay money and you get this big spread or whatever. And Halloween, yes, like there'll be Halloween parties. Like my band's playing on October 28th, and we're gonna all dress up. I'm gonna dress up like Spider-Man. I found a Halloween store, but they don't put their prices, so I'm gonna go see if I can get a fully Spider-Man costume. And then maybe I'll punk rock it a little bit, like put a ripped jean vest or like a backwards hat or something, or like make him like a punk rock Spider-Man. Joe. Self-employment visa and work permit. Yeah, I know. I have thought about that too. I just don't know how to do it. I just got to read about how to do that. Because you're right. If I'm doing this Tom Trips Out thing, why not register it as a real thing? And, I might have to pay fees and then keep track of my taxes and stuff like that because if you're a registered business here, but so what? Do that then. I'll keep track of my taxes then. Like, whatever. Why not? And then I write myself my own letter of employment. Be a real adult and have my own business. Steven says, where are you playing on the 28th? It's called Oscars on the Corner. They have live music every single day there. Every night. Castaway, are the Chinese nice in Cambodia? I think so. I don't notice like a difference, but there's some underlying, there's like low-key resentment towards Chinese people because it's like I probably won't describe it properly, but like they come here with lots of money and then they buy up buildings and then certain things like zoning where you can't have a casino in a certain neighborhood, or maybe the building can't be more than a certain height because they don't want big, huge buildings in like a nice, cute neighborhood. But the Chinese come in and they just bribe their way to doing whatever they want. So then there's just huge, because it's so corrupt. Like, so if you have money, they just do what they're like, here's our plan. And it's like, you can't do that. Are you crazy? And they go, well, here's some more money. Okay, go ahead. And that's like what happened to Sihanoukville. It's a whole bunch of skeleton buildings that had to stop, and then so then I think maybe sometimes there's some people that are like, oh, the Chinese come here and, but they come here with their money and buy up start casinos and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know much about that. Whew, I finally got through all the comments. So yeah, I'm gonna do an apartment tour video soon. I only pay $250 for this apartment. Going to the island this weekend, so that should be like at least 2 videos, or maybe 3 even. Or like 2 and a live or something. And then eventually I want to go to Ho Chi Minh, because this AVSE course I always talk about to help people move here and become a teacher and like follow in my footsteps. They also do it in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam and Hanoi. And I always don't mention that. I've been like focusing on Phnom Penh for some reason, because that's the place that's where I am right now. But so I'm thinking coming up in the next month or so, like take a trip to spend like a week or 10 days in Ho Chi Minh and make videos around there, and go visit the AVSE building in Ho Chi Minh and show you what it looks like. And then if there's people out there with a degree that they'd rather do the course there or work there or see what Ho Chi Minh's like, then that content's on its way. I'm planning it. And I already mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if there's different people here now. There's a link in the description. If you want to check out the website, it has all the info on the website about the TESOL program I took. You can do it online, or you can come and it takes place in the country, and they have it in, as I said, in Ho Chi Minh or Phnom Penh. There's accommodation, and then as you're nearing the end of those 4 weeks, they start lining you up with the job placement. And like, so it's literally the bits. So you end up, within 4 weeks, you have like at least 10 friends and a job. And they help you with advice on visas and like any questions you have, apartments or stuff like that, and you're all kind of going through it together. So put your heads together. Oh, the flies are coming out. You can always message me questions too. And yeah, the comments seem to slow down, and we've hit about an hour now, so maybe we should call it a night. From the balcony in the lightning storm. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, how you spend your days is the way you spend your life. It's never too late to start tripping out.